Okay, good day, Lucas. It is a pleasure to be speaking to you. How are you doing today?
Good, good. It's busy week coming up, so yeah, everything's been good.
Awesome. And, can you talk to me a little bit about your childhood in Missouri? As someone who wrote for St. Louis City for a few years, I know that they claim to be the soccer hotbed of the world. Like, can you attest to that? Did you always know that it was soccer for you?
Yeah, childhood was sport specific really. My parents didn't really give us an option, but so they played sports in college, so we were gonna basically do our best at any level to make it there. That was first and foremost. Nothing about the pro game ever started until later in college. So uh yeah, I mean it was being from Kansas City really, it was obviously around soccer. My older brother played in college and then went on to play at the USL. So I always wanted to maybe chase what he did. So yeah, it started like that, and all of my the rest of my siblings have done the same. So it was good. And then on the topic of the soccer capital of America, right? I think that's what St. Louis calls themselves. I mean, yeah, their culture, their fans, the support they show to the players is the best I've ever been a part of. And that's not a shot at anything else. It's just how loyal they are, how often they show up to any event, to signings, to out to dinner. I mean, they were always, approachable and very supportive of us as players. So yeah, I do think they have a really good support system, and it's been the best like kind of culture city I've been a part of in terms of the league. But yeah, it's something special there for sure.
So you went from the soccer capital of America to the national capital of America. What was the reasoning behind that decision to go to DC? Obviously, quite different from where you've spent most of your life in the Midwest, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it was a new challenge, really, an opportunity that came about because of Valley and Troy and the staff here that they wanted to make a trade for me. And yeah, basically my agent brought it to me, and I was like more than happy to see something that was more of a really a building block for what we wanted to create here. And I think it's a long-term project. There's phases that we see that we're doing really well, and things that we think we have a lot of ground to still cover. But we're doing a good job day by day. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon right now. So we're getting there. We're doing all we can to really build this club to where it belongs, where it needs to be. So yeah, that was it.
And you obviously have two brothers and a sister who are very into soccer, just like you. What was that like having that? I don't know if it was maybe sibling rivalry. I don't know if there were any positives to go with the negatives or what. How did you see that? Do you feel like having so many soccer hungry siblings helped you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, having an older brother that chased the pro dream was all I needed really to go chase that. You always want to compete against your family and really chase what they did. And yeah, I keep saying that word, but really, I just wanted to follow what he did. And if I made it farther or made it anywhere in my career doing what he loved, it was something I loved to do. And my sister plays now at Grand Canyon University in Arizona, and yeah, playing against my little brother was something I think my whole family found a lot of pride in. Was really proud of it, and yeah, it was special.
You were drafted sixth overall in the 2022 MLS Super Draft by FC Dallas. What was that like being considered one of the best players in collegiate soccer, dealing with that initial hype, and overall, what did you make of your time in Texas?
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into before the draft. I obviously had an agent, and we knew there was talks of a couple teams that were going to draft us, but we didn't know where. But as anybody goes into that, you go pretty blind.
Right.
You don't know where you'll fall. You don't know who makes trades. You don't know what happens. So, yeah, I went to Dallas. It was something that I was, so happy about. I had a great time in that city. It was amazing. Um, Texas was, a good time and a good club for sure, very established. But yeah, just a difficult time for me to break in. We finished third in the West. We had a lot of veteran players, Matt Hedges, Jose Martinez was next to him as our center back duo, and they were healthy all year. So they had a lot of depth there too, and it was difficult to break into it with a coach that was really, successful in our first year. So just bought my time, really took the rookie route and just said I'll just put my head down and keep working. And eventually, I got moved to St. Louis, which was amazing. and ended up here. But yeah, it was just a stepping stone, I think.
And how big was that for your confidence, right? Being part of an expansion team that really surpassed all expectations by finishing atop the conference. How important was that for your confidence?
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting into until you're in it. And I think that's the biggest thing when you get into the league is like you have a ton of uncertainty in your mind. Am I good enough? Is the league better than I am? Am I capable to keep up with the pace of the forwards that are spent a lot of money on? Um, basically a lot of uncertainty and insecurity you have until you do it. And once you're able to put your foot in the ground and really say, this is what I want to be about and what I need to do, and this is what I need to improve on, that's kind of where you can take the next step. And yeah, it was a blessing for me to be there in that time. That was a great opportunity in a team that really needed a lot of players to rise to something. And I think that was at the time, credit to the coach to give an opportunity to young players that were, trying to make a name for themselves. So yeah, it was monumental in my career. If I didn't have that moment, I wouldn't be here today.
How would you describe yourself as a defender? What would you say your main attributes are? And overall, have you known that you always wanted to be a center back instead of any other position?
First, I mean, main attributes, I would say like athleticism. I like to cover ground. I like to, be in duels, 1v1s. Those would be my biggest traits, but passing over distance, trying to be accessible as like a goal scorer as well in the box. Obviously defensively first. But yeah, very defensive minded center back. Yeah, that would be my biggest traits. But then what was the second part of the question?
Oh yeah, just did you always know that you wanted to be a defender, and were there any players who you idolized growing up?
I didn't always know I wanted to be center back. I didn't. I was 5'7" going into high school, so I was very small.
Wow.
My older brother's 6'4", but I didn't know I was going to hit that growth spurt until high school. So junior year of high school, I moved, but I was a midfielder by trade. That's what my little brother is still. But yeah, once that happened, it was just kind of slowly pushed back, as I think height maybe played a factor into it. And then, obviously the big ones, Sergio Ramos, even guys that were before him, Puyo or something like that, that were like legends of the Spanish leagues, really. They were fun to watch and guys that had a lot of like swagger about them. So fun to watch and guys that I think carried themselves.
Obviously, making the move to DC in December 2023, it's been a year and a half or so. What do you think? Do you think there's anything that's changed in your game as a player? Do you think that you've improved or added any new compartments to your game?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope I found some improvements. I'm super critical or hypercritical of myself in every game. Coming off the back of another game we just had this weekend, I'm analyzing like everything we can in a game. We played Philly, we lost, gave up 3 goals. I mean, there's everything we look at in that, moments that you want to be better in, moments that you need to, fix, but it's not necessarily about like, saying this was bad or this was not good. It's, or this was good, more in the sense of, what's the solution to it. And I think that's the best way I've grown, over the last few years. And yeah, overall, just trying to add a lot of things to my game, passing ability, accuracy, things that I want to, dominate in the air, things that I want to keep, rising to. I still consider myself young as I got a late start. So yeah, this is year 4. So really just trying to grow every single year to new heights.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your relationship with the manager, Troy Lesesne? I mean, how do you think that your style meshes with his tactical configuration? Overall, how does he compare with your previous coaches?
To be honest, it's very similar style to what we played in St. Louis. Troy's an honest and hardworking guy that I think reciprocates the same to all of his players, and I think that's something that as we players respect a lot to try and deliver exactly what he gives us. Sometimes we don't do in certain moments, but it's honest work, and I think that's what he expects of us is every day putting in the work to try and improve and find ways that we need to be better. Um, but yeah, our relationship has been nothing but, really, really good over the last year and a half. And I'm really hoping that over the next, year to 2 years, we can really bring home some trophies or some hardware.
And just going off the pitch, I mean, as someone who grew up in the Midwest, how different is it living in the DMV? Are there any things that you like or dislike about it? Any things that you like to do with your time when you're not playing or training?
Yeah, I've said it to a couple guys, but it's such a unique city. You have the culture of so many different dynamic embassies, and I mean every country in almost the world has an embassy here, and you have such a culture melting pot here. And I think it's been really cool to see different foods, different restaurants, different sites, museums have been amazing. Far different than Kansas City, I would say. We lack a lot of that, but. There's a lot to be said about the Midwest people. So I do miss a little bit of that. But at the same time, everybody here has been really welcoming. And I think, the DMV offers a lot in terms of there is something going on all the time. You have the Capitals, you have the Nats, you have the Commanders that are doing well. So, we're looking to be a bright spot in that too. It's not a dawn to look at. DC United, we really want to bring home a winning culture here, and I think that's what the fans deserve.
You guys have better barbecue than us. We'll give you that. But I'm curious.
Thank you. That's a tough argument.
They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Can you think of one example of adversity that's forced you to become a stronger person and a stronger footballer?
I mean, man, I've had a lot of I call those curveballs in my life that have come. But yeah, I don't say that with like sorrow or anything, looking for pity. But yeah, things that have changed my trajectory have definitely been, letting go of the first club I was at. I was at Dallas, and after one season, I didn't play in MLS, and I played the Open Cup games there, and just a chip on the shoulder that I think grew from that was just not being able to give it an opportunity and to prove myself. And yeah, another one would be just like little injuries or something like that. They come up in everybody's life, but trying to find ways to improve, trying to find ways to stay healthy and really be that rock that you want to be.
You've played against some of the best players in Major League Soccer. Who's the toughest player you've gone up against in your entire career?
Mm. There's probably three, I'd say. I mean, obviously the best ever is Messi. I don't know if anybody can argue that in the league what he's done.
Definitely.
But yeah, he's what he sees, his vision, his quality is different. Cucho Hernandez before he went to Spain, different level. And then Denny Bouanga at LAFC, just a different power, like somebody in the 80th minute that still has another level to hit. And you got to be on top of your game, or else those guys will eat you up for sure. Those guys are really good players. So it's a good challenge. It's something that I've really enjoyed to test myself in.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your relationship with the DC United fans? I've been following them. I've been following DC United for quite a few years, and I know that no matter if they're winning or losing, they're going to be cheering their hearts out and rooting for the team. How important have they been in your confidence and overall settling in the nation's capital?
Yeah, I mean the supporter groups, there's a couple of them, but like Lavanda, these guys that are, there every single day playing the drums and really showing the support is something that we, even against Philly, we had a good carrying group that came in New York as well the week before. And I even through struggles, like we've gone through a lot and we've had ups and downs, but that group is something that's stayed with us. And yeah, without them, I don't think this club is anywhere near what it would be.
And after missing out on the last five postseasons, how big of a goal is it for you to deliver a DC back to the playoffs, show that we actually are better than people give us credit for?
Yeah, I mean, it's the elephant in the room that everybody talks about. I shouldn't say it like that, but I mean, truthfully, we all want that. We all desire that. We all fight for that, from the athletic trainers to the front office. I mean, it's the goal on everybody's mind, and it's talked about, all the time. We recognize it, we understand it, we know the history of where we were, what we want to be, and I've got nothing more to say other than this. This is all that we want, and it's not just to make the playoffs; it's to be where we were before, and to win trophies and to make runs and beat the best teams in the league.
And apart from playing soccer, what are your favorite ways to spend time?
I mean, I have a golden retriever that's two.
Wow.
So yeah, like yesterday we had a day off, but came in for a little bit of treatment and some lift, but spent most of the day with her. Took her to like a flower shop, walked around. Yeah, I love doing that. I love socializing. I'm pretty social as a person, so getting out with some of the guys, going to have dinners, I love going to Caps games. I've been to quite a few of those, and hoping to get to a Nats game here soon too.
You actually led St. John's in goals in fall of 2021, including three game winners. How big of a goal is it for you to get back to the scoring sheet on a regular basis? And overall, what are your main objectives for the rest of the 2025 season?
Yeah, college is different than pros, but I don't say that as I can't do that. But yeah, I had 2 goals last year, I think, and I think I could have 4 or 5 in a season for sure. And I think the best center backs in the league proven to do that. So that's my goal every year, is to have 5 goals. And that's not just a stepping stone or a milestone. It's just a moment that I want to reach. I haven't found one this year. And I had a couple assists last year as well. So trying to find productivity anywhere I can, not just in the defensive mindset, but obviously offensively. Um, so yeah, that's the biggest goal, is to try to find more clean sheets, more offensive production, and consistency. Number one is to just be consistent every game, and establish yourself as a player that shows up every game with the same delivery.
And you actually are finding that productivity in certain ways. You're leading DC for accurate passes per game and are second in their squad for clearances and interceptions. I don't know if you knew that, but congratulations. How comfortable do you feel as the right-sided center back in DC's back three? Do you think that it's safe to say that you're in the best form of your entire career right now?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, the team, we haven't felt that we've been the best version of ourselves, and I don't think individually you could say that unless the team's doing that.
Right.
I think there's more to give, and as I said earlier, the fans deserve that. If I was complacent, or if I was okay with that, that would probably be an issue. So I know that I've had some good games, and I know I for sure had some bad. So it's all about where you could be every day. And truthfully, I want to do a lot more than that. But yeah, I really want to be really defensive minded. I want to find more clean sheets, and I think the back line that we've brought in, and the players that we've supported us around us have done a good job. But it's about doing it every single game, and um you know trying to be better at that.
You're currently just 3 months away from turning 28. Do you feel like you're right around your prime? Do you feel like there's still a lot more to go to develop? I mean, where do you feel like you're at specifically? What do you think are the biggest things that you need to work on in order to reach the peak level of soccer player that you can be?
No, I don't think I've reached my potential. Definitely not. I think I got a late start to this. I was 24 when I was drafted, 25 when I made my debut. So that's really late in the global soccer era. My little brother was 19. So it's younger and younger every single year, and I feel like I had a late start to that. So maybe I have some more years in the end to give. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think that I'm still young, and I still feel that way, and I still want to play that way. I still want to be able to cover ground. I still want to be, for years to come. It's not just now. And being sustainably, fit for all of that. Yeah, I think I touched on a little bit earlier, but biggest things I want to work on, just being consistent and really accurate with everything I want to do, and finding form that, lasts the season, not just a stint of months.
You've played for three MLS clubs. How does DC compare to St. Louis and Dallas in terms of the environment, both on the pitch and the dressing room?
Yeah, Dallas was a little bit different because it was a little bit more Spanish driven, like the locker room, I should say. But St. Louis was a great, culture for us. So we had a lot of American guys that really meshed well. A lot of them aren't there anymore. But we, as you know, we have Jared Stroud here as well. But a lot of really good guys, and I think him coming with me helped a lot when I came to the DMV, to really find myself and get comfortable on the pitch, but obviously off the pitch. I think that's the biggest thing. And now that I've been here, I think it's with 13 new players I believe we brought in this year. It's my job now to try to bring those guys in, and that's the plan.
And what do you think is going to be the biggest thing that DC needs to improve on in order to make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I think shoring up Goals. I think the biggest thing we've shown is that we can score. We have the best goal scorer in the league, and he'll do it at any time. You know, he can hurt players and hurt teams with his head, obviously, but with his feet as well. So try to find ways to give our team a chance in every game. And I think if we shore that up and really try to, solidify, 1-0 games or whatever it may be, games that we are on the cusp of winning and shoring that up and making sure we finish games strong, that's the biggest thing.
Just one last question, Lucas. Obviously, you still have quite a few more years left on your contract, but looking at it now, what has been your favorite thing about moving to DC, starting a new career with this club? Overall, like if you had to pick one or two positives that have really stood out throughout your time in DC, what would they be?
Yeah, I mean, number one is probably just the move here. To come here was a dream come true to a team that believes in you, and to be wanted, I think, is the hardest thing in this career. It's hard sometimes to be valued. And I think when you have that moment where a team does value or a club values or a GM values you, that's where you want to be, and that's where you want to put your feet in the ground to succeed. And number two, it obviously just be I hope this year is team success. And I hope it comes as fast as possible. We started Open Cup run on Tuesday, and I think that's the first thing we want to start with.
Lucas, thank you so much. It was an
Pleasure.
absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much.